course, just about dead. We'll ride the dinosaur. Yeah, ride the dinosaur. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Navel Gazing, the Valley Indie podcast. My name is Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. That's a nonprofit online newspaper covering Ansonia, Derby, and the town of Seymour in Connecticut's lower Naugatuck Valley. I am doing a solo show, going to try something a little bit experimental. We do have memberships open on our YouTube page for $3 a month. You can join our YouTube page. You'll get special emojis. You can go into the chat and post pictures of me looking terrible if you want, if that's your thing, if you're into that. And you also get members-only videos and live streams. Thank you so much to our members. I think we have 14 or 15 members right now, which is good for a little podunk news site, right? Covering 3 towns. Not bad at all. And we are going to be talking about, or I am going to be talking about at the end of this broadcast, some of our stats. You know, I was filling out grant applications, and the Valley Indie is doing okay in terms of page views and unique visitors. I don't know why people, eyeballs. We're doing okay. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to first go over some of the stories we're working on. It's a very busy week in terms of municipal meeting coverage in the Naugatuck Valley. Excuse me. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then this is going to become a YouTube members only stream. I'm going to go over to YouTube, and in order to watch, you'll have to either hack the page or join for $3 a month. And the URL is now in the chat. So right now this is on Facebook and YouTube. In a couple of minutes, we'll be on YouTube only. So in terms of what the Valley Indie is working on this week, I even made a script that you can't see because of a green screen. But tonight is pretty. Oh, wait, no, let's start with this. I came across this. Gene Fabo Sosnovich shared it with me either last week or over the weekend. This is an upcoming event in the town of Seymour. It's in the town of Seymour. It's not a town of Seymour government event, but it's called the All Valley Breakfast Club, brought to you by the Yankee Clipper. Third Monday of each month at 9:30 a.m., starting March 16th, day before St. Patty's Day, at the Route 67 Diner, Claridus Village in Seymour. Come as you are. All are invited. This is just a simple community event. Come together to meet neighbors, celebrate our, quote, valleyness, unquote. Valleyness is a term coined by the Valley Community Foundation, I think a year ago. I think a year ago. It's probably been 2 or 3 at this point. That's the way my mind works. And it's a way to express, it's a word meant to convey and express the unique character of the lower Naugatuck Valley. So you can find out more by attending the first All Valley Breakfast Club scheduled for 9:30 a.m. It's going to be happening on the third Monday of each month, starting March 16th. As you see on our flyer, and hopefully you can see, that's not our flyer, but the flyer I'm sharing. No fees, just cover your own breakfast. For more information, here's the important part. For more information, call Tom at the Yankee Clipper, 203-751-5880. So that sounds like a really cool community event. You know, what we need more than ever is community, right? With so many things divisive on seemingly every topic. What isn't politicized these days? I think personally it's important to have something on the hyper local level where it's just old-fashioned community building. And essentially that is one of the foundations of the Valley Independent Sentinel. We believe that the communities are made stronger. An informed citizenry is a stronger community. And that's what this is about. Civic health, ladies and gentlemen, civic health. All right. So in terms of meetings that are happening this week, it is budget sections. I'm just getting a missed call here. Apparently everyone can hear me. It is budget season, big kickoff. It's actually already underway, but there's a lot going on. But first, before we get to some of that, I wanted to share with you the city of Ansonia. They have a meeting tonight. Their P&Z is meeting. I'm going to share this page. There it is right there. Hopefully you can see that. Yep, I'm sharing that page. Tonight at 7 p.m., they have a special meeting. Special means it's, I see I still have the other one up. Sorry about that. I thought that would automatically go away. Let me just get rid of that real fast if I can. Bear with me. Bam. Okay, so this is the agenda for tonight's City of Ansonia Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and I should probably try to pump that up a little bit, but I can't find it. So 7 p.m., Monday, March 2nd, Ansonia Middle School. That's different. They're going to be at the Ansonia Middle School. They're anticipating a big crowd for this meeting. That's at 115 Howard Avenue in Ansonia. They have a public hearing at 6:30. The special meeting begins at 7. There is a public hearing at 6:30. Burns Construction has something going on. I don't understand it. Jasmine did her best to find out exactly what this public hearing's on. I didn't think, I don't know. We couldn't really make sense of it. I'm going to be honest with you. So we're going to attend that. But at 7 p.m., unrelated to that public hearing, is their special meeting. And the big one on there is, you see it right here, number 8 in old business, 126 Ford Street, Wellspring Development, LLC, wants to put 91 age-restricted apartments in the former Hilltop Health nursing home on Ford Street. That's been going on for a while. When I talked to Jasmine, and again, this was informal, not again, but this was an informal discussion I had with Jasmine. I actually haven't confirmed it. She was leaning towards thinking that a decision could be coming. Sorry, I'm nervous. Could be coming tonight. This has been largely opposed by people in the immediate area. Neighbors are, not so happy about seeing the old nursing home redeveloped. Others are saying, well, it was density housing, and that 91 age-restricted apartments is something we need in the Naugatuck Valley and Ansonia specifically. So if you show up for that, right, they have a public session. So if you want to get your last thoughts in on how you feel about converting the former Hilltop Health nursing home into 91 age-restricted apartments, this could be your last chance to do so. 7 p.m. tonight, Ansonia Middle School, Howard Avenue, 115 Howard Avenue in Ansonia. So that's that. We had a previous story on that. Maybe it's easier just to do this. Share this tab. This was our last story on that. Ansonia residents petition against Hilltop housing proposal. This was from back in February 9th. They had a series of public hearings on this. 11 Ansonia residents said in a public hearing Monday, February 9th, they were worried about the impacts of a proposal which could bring 91 age-restricted apartments to Ford Street. During the hearing, residents also submitted a petition signed by 37 neighbors saying they were opposed to the proposal. Members of the Planning and Zoning Commission closed the public hearing after more than 2 hours, voting to table the matter. The commissioners now have 65 days to decide whether to approve the special exception application from New Haven developer Adam Haston. His proposal seeks a special exception to convert the 47,000 square foot former Hilltop Health Center nursing home into studio apartments. Plans shared in the meeting show 110 parking spaces, which I assume are already existing. So that's the big news coming out of Ansonia potentially. Jasmine's going to be on deadline. So if you check out the Valley Indy around, midnight, we will post that story, or check it out first thing in the morning. The plan is to have that as our lead story tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday. Speaking of Tuesday, we've got a big meeting coming up in the city of Derby. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I'm going to share this tab instead. We've got the City of Derby Board of Apportionment and Taxation meeting Tuesday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. at Elizabeth Street, at City Hall on Elizabeth Street. You can also go via Zoom, assuming that's all working as it should be. They have a really nice AV system there, but of course it seems really complicated and prone to problems, as technology is known to do, as I look over to make sure we're still live. But the big thing on the agenda for the Derby Boat, also known as the Tax Board, is the 2026-2027 budget presentation, mayor's presentation. I reached out to the mayor's office to ask, well, is that just the mayor's department? Because, in these towns, each town, like the mayor has a budget, but it could mean either his department budget, or is he actually presenting a proposed budget for the entire city, including a bottom line for the school district? I was told, yes, he is. It's going to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. I'm debating whether I like to stream these meetings because, at least on Facebook, if you believe Facebook stats, a lot of people watch. You're talking at least 500 to 1,000 people per video, which is great because obviously if you couldn't fit that in City Hall, they would have to close the place down, et cetera, et cetera. but it's better to be there in person as a reporter so you can ask follow-up questions and all that good stuff. And then you're not subject to not having a story if the tech doesn't work. But I did reach out. Let me see if I can find that. I reached out to the mayor's office. Linda Fusco got back to me today about what they have planned. I said, is there anything you want the city to know? Because I'm going to try writing a brief on this to let people know today that it's happening tomorrow. She said, here are some things we'd like the public to know ahead of the presentation tomorrow night. It's all good stuff, especially considering where she started. Linda Fusco, the mayor's chief of staff, said. She said the annual audit was completed in February for the first time in a decade. She said, and this is big news, ladies and gentlemen, the new mill rate, the proposed mill rate. So just so you know, the current mill rate is 43 and change. Where do I have it? It's the current mill rate in Derby is 43.2. According to Linda Fusco, the mayor's chief of staff, the new proposed mill rate is $39.1, ladies and gentlemen. The city of Derby is talking about lowering the mill rate to 39.1. Now, does that mean everybody in Derby is going to get a tax decrease and you'll all be able to buy Donald Trump-esque gold toilets? No, it does not, because there is a reval happening in the city of Derby. Everybody's assessment went up the average assessment went up 61%. If you're me on Hawthorne Avenue in Derby on a city's west side, traditionally thought of as the poor, right? Is that on the west side? Yeah, west side. I was subject to my assessment went up 128%. I'm one of about 250 people, residential property owners in the city of Derby, who saw their assessment go up more than 100%. Under the current mill rate of 40 and change, my tax bill would have went from $4,838 to $11,058. What's it do with this proposed mill rate of 39.1? Well, instead of spending $11,000 next year, I could be spending $10,000. Yes. I think I'm going to start a series, Watch the Valley Indie Editor Become Homeless due to high taxes, because I can't afford that. But we'll see what happens. Anybody, if we've written stories about this reval. The city of Derby has said that, assessments have spiked all over the state. It's not just Derby. That's been backed up if you read any of the stories. February 20th was the deadline to appeal those new assessments. So if you were somebody who got smacked with a really high assessment, your deadline's passed. We put it in, I think, 2 or 3 stories reminding people of when the deadline was. So, all right. So going back to the mayor's office message about the new mill rate is expected to decline to 39.1, according to Linda Fusco, the mayor's chief of staff. Again, it's 43.2 right now. That means for the average resident, an approximate 1.4 increase in real estate taxes. So the mayor's office and the administration is saying we're lowering the mill rate to 39.1 from 43.2, which means the average resident's tax bill, property tax, will go up 1.4%. Now, that could be all over the place because in terms of paying more because of the reval, the assessments. She also noted that the 5-year phase-in of those new assessments. So if my bill more than doubles to $10,000 a year, that's not going to hit me July 1st. The Board of Aldermen and Alderwomen, I think last month, it was in February, approved an initiative. There was a presentation by Brian Hall. It was in the Valley Indy, valleyindy.org, that phases in those assessments 20% a year for 5 years. So the city, the administration is stressing that as well. And she said, from the mayor's office to residents, please come to City Hall, log in on Zoom, ask your questions, and speak your opinions, respectfully, of course. So that's that. We got an Ansonia P&Z meeting tonight. We got Derby mayor presenting a budget tomorrow to vote. And then on Wednesday, the town of Seymour, the finance board specifically, now I have work going on here, so you will hear some noise in the background. My backstory is about 3 years ago, we had the pipe under our first floor bathroom toilet break and spill raw sewage on the ground into our basement. Then when they started to explore repairs, they found asbestos, right? So my basement was infected with asbestos everywhere and all the floor tiles. So it turned into a big project. And then we found the first floor bathroom's floor was rotting away in 2 spots. So the work has finally moved forward. I would just say never make an insurance claim. It's a difficult process. At least it has been for us every step of the way, but it is finally moving forward. So if you hear some noise, that's what's going on in the Driscoll house that might have a $10,000 tax bill in the city of Derby. Hopefully not. All right. So that is neither here nor there. So the first public hearing on the proposed budget in the town of Seymour, backing up, Derby. Mayor's going to present a budget tonight. That's only the start of the review by boat. They'll spend the next couple of at least a month going over the requests, and then Derby the boat usually approves a budget in April. I don't remember the exact date. It's in the charter, and I should know that, but I don't. Meanwhile, in Seymour, it's at the sort of early in their budget season, sort of not. But the school board has made their proposal. They sent it on to the finance board. Finance board has been meeting a lot, entertaining all the various funding requests from the town departments. And then on Wednesday, the town of Seymour Board of Finance will hold the first of 2 budget hearings on the proposed 2026-2027 town budget, Wednesday, March 4th at 6:30 p.m. at Seymour Town Hall in the Norma Drummer Room, 1 First Street in Seymour. And then, like I believe I have up on my screen, if you go to the Seymour website, they have a lot of budget information on there. It's this one. So if you go to seymourct.org/2026-2027 budget, and I'll put that in the comments, and I'll also check to see, no, we don't have any comments. Nobody wants to talk to me today. That's that. In fact, let me make sure we are on Facebook, because that seems like a very low number of people watching. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to make sure this is actually broadcasting on Facebook. It might not. It is. It says we're live. Just nobody cares about municipal government. I get it. I'll wait. All right. So that's that. That's happening. It's the first of 2 public hearings. Seymour, usually, I think this is the first time they've done something where they've had a public hearing number 1. I assume that there is, I got a message saying, I'm watching you on Facebook. Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you for that. I am assuming this is something new. Town of Seymour trying to get more public involvement in the budget. It's very hard to do. I can tell I'll talk about stats. One story that never, ever gets read in any of the towns we've covered ever are budget stories. They're hugely important. It's how the government is spending your money. It's going to decide whether or not the Driscoll family in Derby has a home, but no one wants to read it. So I can't even imagine what it's like to get people to go out and vote, because in Seymour, they have a townwide referendum. But before they do that, they have the annual town meeting, which is a very New England way of doing things, where the public, if a certain number of people show up, they can actually change the proposed bottom line. So things going on in Seymour. So there's a lot. So you go to that URL I just put in the chat, and you can get all types of information on the proposed budget in the town of Seymour. So that takes us through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in terms of stories. I'm interviewing a person in Derby who's retiring. More news on that to come. I have that scheduled for Wednesday, unless I have to cancel, which I did last week. So no more snow. All right. We've had enough of the snow. Thank you, all the firefighters, first responders, DPW, and hey, Gene Fabo Sasnovich and Jasmine Wright for working through the storm and getting people information. We basically just repeated what was coming from our city halls. And thank you to all the towns that were so open with information. It wasn't like that when the Valley Indy first started in 2009. Can you believe there was a time where public officials would say they actively wouldn't share to Facebook? They said that the people on Facebook don't live in the Valley. and we were full of crap and this and that, and that anything coming from Facebook was fake, sort of. So that's that. So what I'm going to do now is we are going to switch over to YouTube exclusively. So there is a link if you're watching on Facebook. If you want this to continue, we're going to talk about some community events coming up. We're going to talk about some pop culture crud, and then we're going to talk stats. I'm going to talk to you about how many views the Valley Indie gets every day, how we've been doing the past 90 days on Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. And then the most read stories of the week. So if you want to join, you can go to our YouTube page. I won't put up the URL because it's super, super long, but you can either go to YouTube, search Valley Indie Sentinel, or copy and click one of the thingamajigs in the chat. That's really long though. So it is $3 a month or $6 if you got the deep pockets. So, all right. Thank you to our Facebook friends. We're now going to continue this members only on YouTube. Oh, and I think I have to remove it. I thought I could just stop the stream and leave it up on Facebook, but apparently I have to totally get rid of it. Goodbye, Facebook. Anybody have any questions on Facebook before we move on? You're good? Experimental. This could ruin the whole thing. Oh, no, it's going to stay there. Gives me an option to delete, so you can watch this. Everyone else, see you on YouTube.